Hey there, I'm meteorologist Lily Aldrich. Welcome back to the Weather Impact Show. Today we are in fact weather impact alert for some high heat that we're going to be seeing this afternoon. Already seeing currently actually with feels like temperatures in the low 100s. It's a hot day out there for you, so let's go ahead and debrief everything you need to know today. So at the moment, hot day ahead. We're already seeing that 100-degree heat index for later this afternoon. That's currently right now, but we do have a chance of seeing some hazier skies later this afternoon with an air quality alert that's coming in a little bit later. That's kind of impacting some vulnerable populations. But by the time we get back into the weekend, that's when rain chances are returning back into our forecast, and it's something to look forward to with all this heat we're seeing right now. Currently, our temperature is around 92 degrees, but look at that, feels like 96. It is warm out there, and it's only going to get warmer as we get later into the week and into the day. Temperatures right around 3 o'clock and within the next hour, 94, but feeling like 100. And by the time we hit 4, 5, 6, we're already seeing 102, possibly in 103. It's been a warm day, and a lot of that is because of the dew points that we've been seeing today. Combined with all this heat, you're already seeing temperatures around 95 degrees for your high. Honestly, barely getting back down by the time we hit 8, 9 o'clock tonight. By the time we hit 9, you're still going to be seeing temperatures at 89 degrees, feeling like 96. It's a warm day that we're going to be having. That's why we are weather impact alert for you. Here's your mugginess meter. Here's all that humidity that's kind of sticking around in the atmosphere right now. Upper 60s for your dew point today. It's giving you a slight bit of relief. You might remember around 2 weeks ago, we did have a really high heat index as well with temperatures 105, 106. And a lot of that was because of the dew points that we saw. But currently, they're not as bad as that. That's why we're only seeing low 100s. Not saying low 100s is it's still pretty bad out there. By the time we hit Saturday, you do see a little bit of a jump back in that humidity when the rain chances start to build back into our forecast. But we're, for the most part, sticking around the mid to upper 60s for your dew point. Here's your precip chances for the next few days. You're dry today and you're dry tomorrow. But by the time we hit Friday and into the rest of the week, we're starting to see those precip chances kind of build back into your forecast. Not saying it's going to be an entire washout at any means, but you will see some rain, and some people will see a little bit, possibly seeing a little bit more of heavier rain. This is Friday around 1 p.m. You're pretty clear up until then, but by the time you get later in the afternoon, that's when things start to creep back in. It's around 5, 6 o'clock on Friday. You start to see those showers and storms start to brew back in and move back into your forecast. By the time you get a little bit later into the afternoon, 9 o'clock, they're kind of drifting up north, but all of that cloud cover is coming back in, and that's going to build your overnight lows to be a little bit warmer getting into your Saturday. By the time you get into Saturday morning, you're clear through most of the morning, but you do have a chance of seeing those showers and storms returning back into your Saturday afternoon forecast. We do have an air quality alert out for you. It's mostly for our metro counties over in Columbus, Licking, Fairfield. Just keep an eye on that because vulnerable populations do have a chance of seeing some kind of impacts for you, such as the elderly, or if you have asthma at any kind of means. Just keep an eye on it because a lot of it is because of this smoke that we're seeing. It's actually all from Canada. Weirdly enough, this smoke is actually populating right into central Ohio, and it's what's kind of causing that air quality alert. You might have seen a kind of a muggier morning forecast for you, or a muggier sunrise this morning, and that's all because of that smoke. Let's get back into our day forecast though. 95 degrees today, lots of sunshine and a high heat index. You've also got a high UV out there, so make sure you wear your sunscreen. Over the next few hours, you see at noon, we saw 88 degrees. By the time you get 4, 5, 6 o'clock, 93, 95, but kind of drifting back slightly as you get later into the evening. So just keep in mind, we do have this weather impact alert for you for the end of the afternoon. Just find ways to stay cool, maybe avoid the sun as much as possible. Here we go, 7-day forecast. You start to see that weather impact alert for you on your Wednesday. Clear out, dry until Thursday. We have a chance of showers and storms returning back in your forecast by the time you hit Friday. Saturday, Sunday, you see mostly afternoon showers. Not going to be a total washout, but you will possibly see some rain in some of our areas. Those showers and storms kind of continue until the beginning of your work week by the time you hit Monday and Tuesday. But take a look at those highs. We're seeing a high of 95 today. Slightly getting back down by the time we get into Saturday and Sunday. We're starting to get back towards our normal average high of around 85 degrees. That's what we normally see at this time of year, at least. Right now, that heat dome that we've been talking about all week is starting to kind of move its way out of the area, so thank goodness for that. It's going to be a warm day today, but keep in mind, it's still going to be warm tomorrow, even though we're only a degree cooler. But the humidity kind of starts to stick back down. But hey, as I mentioned in my forecast this afternoon, there is another air quality alert in effect for several of our counties for unhealthy levels of pollution out in the air right now. The Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission issued the alert yesterday for us here in Franklin County, along with Delaware, Fairfield, and Licking County. It's for especially sensitive groups like children, the elderly, or people with asthma or other respiratory illnesses. If you or your family members fit this criteria, I would definitely try to limit your outside time today along with that heat. Here's a list of other things we can do to help reduce pollution. From the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Committee, MORPC says you can consider mowing your lawn a little less. Longer grass is actually good for air and water quality. You should also carpool when possible and don't idle your vehicle because the exhaust contributes to air pollution. MORPC recommends using the GoHio commute program to find another way to get around the area. The program provides tools and resources to help you compare different commute routes, and we have more information on our website at 10tv.com under the Featured Links tab. But the big weather story today is all of that heat. Extreme heat is sweeping across the country. And here's a look at all the high heat alerts nationwide, with the heat index getting as high as 110 degrees in some of the northern states. The Franklin Park Conservatory Farmers Market is also not happening today because of all of this heat. The conservatory posted about the cancellation on Facebook and says it hopes to see everyone back next week. A good reminder to check up on any outdoor events you may be going to today, just in case plans change. And due to all the heat, the Central Ohio Transit Authority is offering free rides today. COTA says fares are waived on fixed bus routes, COTA Plus and COTA Mainstream because of those hot conditions. Their website has a message that says COTA offers this community service to provide those who need to reduce exposure to extreme temperatures with a safe, reliable means of transportation that facilitates and provides relief. And with all of this, that talk about the heat, it's a good time to remind you about our Beat the Heat fan drive. Remember, when temperatures rise this summer, you can help a neighbor stay safe. So join 10TV, 97.1 The Fan, and Life Care Alliance for our annual Beat the Heat fan drive. Drop off a new box fan at any Franklin County fire station or make a donation through Life Care Alliance. Every donation helps keep somebody cool. So text the word FAN to 614-460-3345, that number on your screen, and find out how to donate. And we'll send that information right to your phone. And together, we can help beat the heat. Well, coming up tonight, rock legends AC/DC are getting ready to shake Ohio Stadium. But if you're heading to the show, you need to prepare for those extreme conditions before you step through the gates. 10 TV news reporter Amy Steigerwald joins us from outside Ohio Stadium with the adjustments being made to accommodate fans in the heat.
Fans we spoke with say the heat not impacting their decision to attend the concert tonight. However, if you are planning to come out, just plan for those high temperatures.
This is my AC/DC wrap that I got done at Lizard Skins, and I had a dream of getting the Jeep one day and putting a wrap on it. So there's my big Angus.
This is what, concert number 4?
Yes.
4, yeah.
The fans are more than ready for AC/DC to take the stage at Ohio Stadium. And they won't be the only fans working overtime Wednesday night. Cooling fans and misting stations will be set up around the stadium. The American Red Cross and Columbus Fire will also staff first aid rooms.
We're from Florida, so we're used to the heat and the humidity.
Anyone attending the concert can bring empty, clear plastic water bottles and fill them up for free at one of the water refill stations throughout the stadium. Now, aside from that empty water bottle, you're also allowed to bring in one of these small bags, roughly this size, and you can fit a lot in here. Things you're allowed to bring inside those small fans. You're allowed to bring in sunscreen, so long as it's not aerosol. You can really fit a lot in here, so just make sure you're bringing the essentials if you are planning to come tonight. Reporting at Ohio State, Amy Steigerwald for 10 TV News.
Moving now to some environmental news. Greenpeace Italy and Italian main labor union CGIL installed 3 ice statues representing a farmer, a bicycle rider, and a construction worker and left them to melt under the scorching sun in front of the Coliseum on Wednesday. The goal of the protest was raising awareness on the conditions workers are facing in case of increasing heat waves in the context of global warming. Greenpeace activists called for heavier taxation on corporations largely using fossil fuels to be spent on projects to adapt to climate change and to make territories and workplaces more resilient to heat and extreme weather. And sticking with the heat wave, 3 states saw record heat over the weekend. On Sunday, parts of Montana, Wyoming, and Utah recorded their highest temperatures since record keeping began. In Montana, the mercury climbed to 115 degrees, and it's due to what scientists call the heat dome. That's when high pressure traps hot air and keeps clouds from forming. According to NASA, the number of heat waves in the U.S. has doubled between 1980 and 2023. And that heat on Monday in Phoenix, Arizona, resulted with crews with the Phoenix Fire Department needing to rescue an overheated hiker off a popular trail and amid triple-digit heat. Wow. Crews utilized a helicopter from the Phoenix Police Department to quickly get to the victim and take them to the hospital. The hiker was expected to be okay. And the heat was just one of the wild weather stories going on this week. Flood watches have been issued for more than 6 million people in central southwest Texas. Many of those areas were already impacted by high water on Tuesday. And that's just part of the severe weather impacting the nation from coast to coast. Reed Binion reports.
As much rain as we've gotten and as dark as it was, I mean, it's pretty obvious that that's just an unfortunate event.
A Texas resident reacting after a truck got partially submerged after being swept up in high water Tuesday. Heavy rain triggered dangerous flooding across parts of the state, prompting dozens of rescues. At least 45 people had to be pulled from the floodwaters. Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration for 59 counties. Some of the hardest hit areas are expected to see more flooding in the coming days. To the west and California's Bay Area, a different problem.
This is something we do as a last resort to prevent a wildfire ignition.
With temperatures soaring, utility giant PG&E is warning that protective power shutoffs are likely as the heat combines with dry, windy conditions.
With the high winds, we can see vegetation, trees, debris coming into contact with our power lines.
This amid wildfires already burning in the state. Fires also burning in Colorado, as well as Minnesota, and across the border in Canada. Authorities there have issued evacuation orders for multiple communities in northwestern Ontario. This as communities across the U.S. cope with blistering summer heat. On Tuesday, Chicago saw its hottest day so far this year. Soaring temperatures are forecast for numerous U.S. cities in the coming days, including many on the East Coast, where temperatures are forecast to approach or even break records. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And some of those extreme temperatures are creating an even bigger challenge for communities still recovering from wildfires. Rebuilding continues despite triple-digit heat, while some fire survivors are still living in RVs with little shade or air conditioning. CBS LA's Jasmine Veal reports with how they're finding ways to beat the heat while keeping recovery moving forward.
Oh, this is nice and...
When the temperature climbs, Mike Curran has found his own way to cool off.
Oh, that's delightful. Delightful. Yeah, otherwise I'd bake. I'd heat stroke here.
Behind his RV, a stock tank filled with cold water has become his escape from the relentless heat. He lost his childhood home in the Eaton fire, and after a year renting elsewhere, Curran just moved back onto his property in March to live in this RV.
The canopy helps a lot, but it's so hot.
There is no electricity, so he bought a solar panel, but it's not enough to give him air conditioning.
Once by the afternoon,
yeah.
You can't stay in.
Right.
And after the fire, there are far fewer trees to provide the shade that once covered the neighborhood.
It wasn't just my trees, but my neighbor had a huge Aleppo pine.
Curran says all of these challenges have taken a mental toll.
Sometimes I find myself forgetful or even just getting dressed sometimes takes longer than it should.
At the same time, construction crews are racing to rebuild homes before the next rainy season, working through triple-digit temperatures.
Well, being on the roof, all day, no shade, no nothing, just and with the black paper, it makes it double the heat.
For homeowners like Mark Lansdowne, who is helping rebuild his mid-century modern historic neighborhood, pausing construction isn't always an option.
As we get into the summer, well, it's hot, you know, it's getting hotter. And I really feel for the guys. Actually, I'm meeting with the roofers today, and roofing is tough when it's hot.
Every day of progress brings them one step closer to getting back home.
It's really nice to be home.
And surviving this heat has become just another hurdle in a recovery that's already tested this community in countless ways.
And now to our other major weather story this afternoon. There's flooding down in Texas. Rain is again drenching parts of the Lone Star State today, topping already swollen rivers. Drivers on this San Antonio highway saw a twister right in front of them. Up to 20 inches of rain may fall before that storm moves out. And disaster declarations have been issued for dozens of counties, including Kerr County, where devastating flooding just last year along the Guadalupe River killed more than 100 people, including some young campers. And with more on the flooding conditions, Earl with our sister station, KENS, has this report from Texas.
Uvalde County leaders say between 8 p.m. last night to 9 this morning, 25 people have had to be rescued from the flash floods, and we are at Leona Park right outside the Civic Center where we just got this announcement, and we're able to just give you a look right now at the Leona River rushing over all of these low water crossings in Uvalde. So even on Apple Maps, I'm seeing these roads are closed about 3 streets up on the maps. So it goes all the way down, and Roy, if you can pan over here to this side, you can even see across downstream all of these broken trees, debris, all of this stuff knocked over to kind of give a visual of how strong the water's been moving. So we actually even got another update as well that 9 people are getting rescued right now in northern Uvalde County off of a roof, and they are wanting us to reach back out to county officials in a little bit to get an update on the situation there, but they're saying that there's a lot of rainfall in northern Uvalde County. So with all of the road conditions, they're telling everyone to go to the Office of Emergency Management page and Uvalde PD's Facebook page for road closures, and we're going to stay on top of this here in Uvalde with more numbers and updates.
Finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. First up, sticking with Texas, check out this video from Al Ortiz in San Antonio, Texas, showing swirling debris and electrical flashes as a tornado moves through San Antonio early this morning. This tornado hit on the north side of the city with damage being reported, but a full assessment was still underway as of reporting. Wow, that's a crazy video. Oh my goodness. And finally, today, let's check out this smoke video from north of the border in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Thick wildfire smoke blanketed the region on Tuesday, reducing visibility and prompting health warnings as fires continue to burn through parts of northwestern Ontario and other regions of Canada. Cell phone video showed heavy smoke casting an orange haze over a neighborhood in Thunder Bay. The Thunder Bay District's health unit said smoke from wildfires in the area were causing poor air quality and advised residents to limit time outdoors. This agency warned that rising smoke levels can increase health risks with symptoms including eyes, nose, and throat irritation, headaches, and mild coughing. A lot of that smoke is actually kind of what's pulling in those hazy skies we're seeing over here in central Ohio. So keep that in mind. It's pretty dangerous out there if you do have any kind of health awareness or health risks in pertaining to air quality alerts. Well, let's get back here into our forecast here in Columbus. For the most part, we're seeing weather impact alert today for those high heat temperatures. Goodness, it's going to feel warm out there. We're seeing temperatures in the low 100s for your feels like temperature, around 102 later this afternoon within the next few hours. With our high only being 95, though, it's going to be really humid heat. For tomorrow, dry 94, and we slowly start to get back down, creeping down to what our normal average is, around mid-80s for this time of year. Rain chances return back in your forecast by the time you hit later Friday afternoon and come back by the time you hit Saturday and Sunday. That's it for your weather update here on 10 TV. Coming up later tonight, you can catch Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer back with giving you your full forecast for tonight and into the rest of the week. Until then, you can catch more news and weather online at 10tv.com. Have a great afternoon.